Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you're new, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today I thought I would sit down and just play with some makeup. I feel like I've not kind of sat down and chatted to you guys about any of my favourite products for quite some time. I was going to do like a 2024 makeup favourites, but I feel like that's kind of past now and I have a lot of favourites. I have had some new products and new PR parcels over the past few months that haven't really made much content on across YouTube. I do obviously post on TikTok quite regularly, so if you don't follow me over there or on Instagram, make sure you do. I'll put my username on the screen. I'm just gonna literally get ready with you guys, play with a little bit of makeup. It's not gonna be anything dramatic, but this is kind of like my go-to kind of everyday makeup look. I don't wear makeup every day, but if I was going to, or when I do, like something super simple, enhances my features and I think looks really nice. Make sure you subscribe before we jump in, give the video a like if you do enjoy. Let's start with some skin prep. I switch out my skin prep quite a lot, which can be kind of bad because I feel like I use too many different products, but these are some I've been using at the moment, and more so because they're like little ones I'm kind of trying to use up. I open way too many things at the same time and then I can never finish them. So an eye cream that I've been loving recently is from Glow Recipe. It's the Guava Vitamin C Bright Eye Gel Cream. I just really like the formula and like consistency of this. I've already cleansed my skin with some micellar water. And then this is something I've been really liking from Medic 8. It's basically a hyaluronic acid serum. It's the Hydrate B5 Intense. Hyaluronic acid with NMF Replenish and Boost. I feel like it says intense, it is quite strong. But even though I am an oily gal, I feel like my skin needs a lot of hydration at the moment. And then this is just like another mini. I have the full size one of this, but Dermalogica sent out these sample versions of the Multivitamin Power Recovery Cream, which is a new product from them. I've nearly used this up now, so I can move on to my big bottle, but I've been really liking this as a moisturiser. Anything to help my skin recover from any damage. I've been really liking quite a few different primers, but the one that I feel like I go back to quite a lot is the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer, just because why wouldn't we want a little blur in the centre of our face? So a bit on the forehead, across my nose and cheeks, and on the chin, and just gently press and blend that out into the skin. I've been really liking skin tints, like my Maybelline skin tint. This Max Factor one was quite new. I had in PR the other day, which I did like, but I think for a little bit of coverage today though, I haven't used this in a couple of weeks, the Be Perfect Chroma Cover, the matte version. I'm just not going to use too much of it because it can be quite a lot, like it is full coverage, but I do really like the finish of it. Just do 2 pumps to start with. I've got the shade W5. Look how thick that obviously is, like it doesn't run anywhere. Shade W5 is quite like a yellowy undertone, but I am naturally quite olive and I just have to be careful with like bronzing this up, just so I don't look, you know, like Simpson-esque. And then going in, like it's just so full coverage. Like, I don't want to go overboard and make my skin feel too heavy or cakey at all. I'm just gonna press with my sponge just a little bit, any excess, and to press it into the skin a bit more. For concealer, I do kind of switch between a few. I've been really loving Kylie's concealer, still love HMB. I really like the Tarte Shape Tape Radiant Concealer. Do you know what? I haven't used this too much recently. I've only used this once or twice. It's the newer Rimmel Multitasker, but it's a concealer and a foundation, and it's got vitamin C and caffeine in it. So, and it's got like a cooling roller ball on it, but you don't need too much. A little bit extra on some of my spots. Taking my tapered sponge, lightly pressing that in. I feel like for quite a while, and if I'm not careful to, you know, do my skincare regularly, I can get quite dry under eyes, so I find it so important for me to use a nice hydrating eye cream and like a hyaluronic acid around that area, obviously being careful it's nothing too strong, because I find that concealer will sit so much nicer On top of it, when you've got a hydrated base, you might have great tools, great makeup, but if your actual skin quality and like your skin prep underneath isn't great, your makeup's not going to sit great on it. And even though like this makeup is matte, it's not super matte and drying on me. It's still got like a slight bit of radiance coming through if I want to see my hydrated skin underneath, but all of that is blended out perfectly. Again, then moving on to cream, bronzer and blush, I have a lot of favourites. I feel like I've got a whole drawer full of stuff. I love Made by Mitchell stuff. I think I'm going to use the curve case today, but I've got a lot of the like blushes and the bronze ones. I love the Rare Beauty blushes. I've got some Doll Beauty. I've got Huda Beauty liquid blushes. For ease and the colours that I really like, the curve case is where it's at for me, and I really like the consistency and formula of it. So I tend to take just like a small angled brush like this and use the slightly two warmer shades, which is Shady Business and Cream Carve. I don't really know why I like to dip into both, but just give that a bit of a tap, and then I just slowly start to press that kind of down from my ear in that bit of hollow there. Try not to now to come past like my eye, like my, maybe a little bit past the corner of my eye with the excess, but I'm still learning my face shape. I think I change the way I do things all the time. And tapping that into my forehead. Already you just see the nice shadow this side. And tail of the eyebrow, pull it back. There we are, nice and warmed up. And then for my nose, I'll just take Shady Business on like an angled kind of thinner brush and just slowly kind of on the bridge, just on the sides. Mine is quite messy a lot of the time, and then I blend it up under my eyebrow. In with my bit leftover concealer on my sponge to dab through the centre and up the sides. And then what I've done a little bit more recently, and I've seen a lot of people do, is kind of take a bit more of the bronzer and like put it in the middle here. Again, tap it out. I really like this shade Snatchural. Strawberry Cream is nice, but sometimes I think it's a little bit too baby pink. Start to tap that on my cheekbone. I don't want to disturb the foundation, so pressing it in. Do you know what, sometimes I miss doing makeup. If you didn't follow me before, I used to work on a benefit counter as a counter manager, and now and again I'd get to obviously like help people with their makeup. I waxed and tinted a lot of eyebrows and helped people shape their eyebrows. But I do enjoy doing other people's makeup. I just don't think I could do it as a job. I wouldn't like want to have to do that all day every day. And these leave a really nice radiant glow, but obviously I'm gonna go in and set. I'm gonna add a bit more. Nice. I feel like a broken record when I go through each like stage, but powders, again, I've got some favourites. One is Trigwell Cosmetics powder. Love the Huda Beauty powder. I really like the Be Perfect Katie Daily powders. Another favourite is my Laura Mercier blurring powder. I'm going to use the Trigwell one in shade 2, which I think is this slightly peachier shade. It's just got a tint of colour in it, but it should help kind of brighten ever so slightly, but nothing crazy. So I've just blended it under my under eyes, tapping the excess off, and then patting gently. And I do feel like this kind of blurs a little bit as well. Other side. And then the forehead. And then chin. Sometimes I do like to go in with a pressed powder really, really lightly. Most of the time I'd say my favourite is probably the Fenty one. This is the Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation. So it kind of gives maybe a tiny bit of colour and coverage, but I just use it on a really light, fluffy brush just to kind of add a little bit more and just kind of set some other areas. I've got the shade 250. So I take a little bit and then I'll just swirl that gently. Like I've not really set here too much. And I feel like this does kind of help to blur a little bit as well. And I just feel like this is such a flawless kind of base. For powder, I mean, I've got my trusty Give Me Sun. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. This has been another favourite recently. It's the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. Oh, I've got the dark chocolate one on an angled fluffy brush. And do the kind of same as before, is slowly build it up. I just love the smell of these, they're incredible. If anything has moved, it's because I've just taken a quick 20-minute break to go and have some scrambled egg on toast and charge my camera battery, because I don't actually have a spare battery for this camera yet, which I do need to get, because I've then got to go and stick this actually on charge. We are back. So bronzer is done. Powder blush, I don't want to be too blushy today, so I think I might go with something subtle. Really like this Kylie Jenner kitten baby blush. It's kind of like, it's like a peachy pink, but it's quite a light shade, so it's not gonna be too much, but you can build it up. So just gonna use another angled brush and just start to build that up on my cheekbone. I really love Trigwell's blushes and the NYX butter blushes, I think they're called. And I also recently just got the Made by Mitchell like blush book, which has got, I want to say 12 shades of blush in it. Even though I'm set, my skin still has a really lovely radiant through it. I switch when I do my eyebrows. Sometimes I do them first, sometimes I do after I've set everything. Obviously I'm doing them now. Favourite brow pencil at the moment and for ages has been the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. This is the shade Chocolate, by underlining lightly underneath my brow and then extend it a little bit. Can't talk or like concentrate on anything else when I do my eyebrows. So I've drawn the underneath, and then I like to just start flicking it up and doing some little hair strokes. As I come to the tail, I do like to define that a tiny bit and keep it kind of rounded, and then start doing some hair strokes down the tail, brush them through. This one is Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. Lovely. Then for eyes, I'm going to do a tiny little wing, probably with eyeliner today. A lot of the time I'll do just a dark brown eyeshadow, but I want something to stand out a little bit more. So this is my favourite brown liner at the moment from Ico, I think. Forgot a step. I usually put bronzer in my crease. I'm going to take the bronzer that I used and just a fluffy brush, swirl it around, and then just focus that on the outer corner. I'm quite messy with this, to be honest, because it's only bronzer, so it matches kind of like the tones. On the outer corner, little circle motions, and then windscreen wiper to blend it in through the crease. Not being too precise, but just making sure it's all blended, and this just helps to define the eyes a bit more. I always have to put something. And then I've just gone ahead and done that tiny little wing, and the same on the other side, and I only bring it up onto like the outer corner, like so. Then we curl the eyelashes, because you cannot put mascara on without curling them. My camera just died, I'm getting really annoyed, but I've just found a little hack that I think it'll stay on while I'm charging it, so I just plugged it into a power bank on my windowsill. What I was saying is I had a lash lift the other week. I feel like maybe they weren't as curly as I'd like them to be. And I've got one lash that's turned upside down for some reason. I know this sounds gross, but I think I'm going to have to pluck it out. Ow! Oh, really, really hurt. I don't think that one permed properly. Mascara, nothing has changed probably since the last time I maybe even mentioned makeup on my channel, because I've just found my forever mascara. I do like others and I use others, but I will always now go back to Maybelline Sky High, because it's just that girl. I've got a fresh one ready to be used. This one's kind of nearly out, but still going strong. So lash serum, lash lift, good mascara. Okay, happy with that. Very, very happy with that. Sorry, I keep looking into the screen. I do apologise. My skin is skinning, the lashes are lashing. I just need to set my face and do my lips, and then we can rush out the door. Setting spray, I've got a few that I switch between. I'm not really like in love. This one I have been enjoying though, which kind of defeats the purpose of me doing matte skin. It's the Wee Cherie cherry extract, hyaluronic acid from the Beauty Crop. And I really like how fine the mist is on this. What a dream. For lips, there's nothing new, I'm sorry. We've got a tiny, tiny mini Sweet Tea from Morphe. I like this one. I like Strip Down. I like the Kylie Cosmetics in Satin. I like Morphe Sweetheart. I feel like I wish it was more long lasting, like kind of stuck to the skin a bit more. Overline those bad boys. Oh, that's a bit too much. To keep in with a tiny, tiny little hint of pink, I'm going to use MAC Myth. This one's nearly out. I'm sure I had another one somewhere. And then most of the time I use gloss at the moment. Maybelline Lifter glosses, one of my favourites. Huda Beauty, the faux filler glosses. This is the shade Ice from Maybelline. It is gorgeous. These are not sticky. They're not gloopy. Really comfortable, really shiny, juicy, glossy. Perfection. Go in with a tiny bit of powder again. This Maybelline Fit Me translucent. Just back over my T-zone. I don't want to add any more colour or coverage in. Got a little bit shiny there, didn't I? And that is pretty much like how I do everyday makeup. I've definitely waffled and this took longer because I'm talking through it, but I could easily do this within 15-20 minutes if I was being quick. And I do obviously switch out some products here and there, but this is kind of what it will look like most of the time. I think it looks flawless. I think it looks natural and not too much. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Let me know what you guys think. I've been really debating a brow lamination, but I think I'd miss being able to do like skinny brows if I did. I hope you enjoyed sitting down. Maybe we got ready together, having a little bit of a waffle. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll come back to you. I'll try and list like the products that I used in this look, just in case you want to come back to them. Thank you so much for watching. If you have made it to the end, make sure you give the video a like and subscribe if you're not already. It would mean the world to me. Make sure you follow me on my socials. Would really appreciate that. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!